Okay, we are back into open session. The first order of business is the approval of the closed session minutes dated May the 19th, 2020, and I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
I don't know that we actually have gotten to review those yet.
I
Did
have
they
those
not?
all gathered so we can approve them at the next time we meet in person. Shane didn't think it was a very good idea to email it out since it does
That's true.
contain confidential information.
All right, so
Right.
we will scratch item number one. Item number two then is postings. Mr. Grody.
Administration recommends the permission to post the following positions: General John A. Logan, Day Custodian, Bilingual Aide, Paraprofessional at the high school, Paraprofessional at the General John A. Logan, and Paraprofessional at the middle school. High school head girls basketball coach, as well as posting for a new kindergarten teacher, a high school transitional bilingual educator, a speech language pathologist, K8, PK8, and special education at the high school.
Now I'll entertain a motion to approve that recommendation.
So move.
In a second,
Second.
Mrs. Hines.
Mr. Beavers,
Yes.
Mrs. Evaldi,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Dr. Dorr,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mrs. Janes,
Yes.
Mr. Runge.
Yes, motion carries. Next item, Mr. Grody.
Administration makes the recommendation to voluntarily transfer Mr. Chris Imhoff from the General John A. Logan Day Custodian position to maintenance.
I'll entertain a motion to approve that recommendation.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Mrs. Hines.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Beavers,
Yes.
Dr. Dorr,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mrs. Janes,
Yes.
Mrs. Evaldi,
Yes.
and Mr. Runge.
Yes, motion carries.
The administration makes the recommendation for the following employments: Jance Witzman, Carruthers Student Advocate; Joan Rogers, Para Aide at the middle school; Holly Thompson, Middle School Secretary Bookkeeper; and the athletic employments as presented, Schedule B, which we will put on the website tomorrow.
I'll entertain a motion to accept that recommendation.
So move.
In a second,
Second.
Mrs. Hines.
Mr. Beavers,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Dr. Dorr,
Yes.
Mrs. Janes,
Yes.
Mrs. Evaldi,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Runge.
Yes, motion carried.
All right. Administration makes the recommendation to hire Pam Jarrell as the middle school special ed reach teacher.
And I'll entertain a motion to accept that recommendation.
So moved.
In a second,
Second.
Mrs. Hines.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Beavers,
Yes.
Mr. Green,
Yes.
Mrs. Janes,
Yes.
Mrs. Evaldi,
Yes.
Dr. Dorr,
Yes.
Mr. Runge.
Yes, motion carries.
All right. And finally, administration recommends hiring Heather Sunny as the high school assistant principal.
I don't often do this, but I'm going to make the recommendation to accept the recommendation from the administration to hire Mrs. Sunny as the assistant principal at the high school. I need a second.
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 Mrs. Hines?
Mr. Rungy,
Yes.
Mrs. James,
Yes.
Mrs. Evaldi,
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Beavers,
Yes.
Dr. Dorr,
Yes.
Mr. Green.
Yes.
Motion carries. That's everything, I believe. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, folks.